Brad giving out 2 A's for the trade. If I had you as a professor when I was a student at Florida, I probably would have stayed in engineering and never would have made the move over to broadcasting. I'm glad I did. I'm glad that Brad Beal was a Gator while I was still living in Gainesville, and maybe now he could be looking to live somewhere else, because the reports out there is that he is examining his options in free agency if the Suns do decide to buy him out. It's a whole lot of money they will have to pay him. But if you are Brad Beal, just the Brad Beal side, this not the other teams in the league, where would you want to go play?
You know, I would want to find a place where I'm not going to be sort of like the stepchild that he feels like that he was with the Suns. Someplace where I'm going to have a carved out role, where I'm going to be appreciated. And I think pretty much anywhere he goes, it's going to be a better situation for him, because he's not going to be being paid the money and the expectation that comes along with that where he was in Phoenix. So I think that it's good times to be Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal. These guys could be vacationing down in the Bahamas and still getting paid tens of millions of dollars. They get to pick their next destination. You know, this will be up to Bradley Beal, you know, how much he wants to stack salary on top of salary. So he's going to be getting a bunch of money from Phoenix, the same way Damian Lillard is from Milwaukee. Will he take a veteran minimum from another team? Will he be looking for mid-level money? You know, how important is it to him to find the right fit and the right team? I don't think, I mean, I wouldn't if I were him. I don't know Bradley Beal. I don't think he's going to be looking to just stack as much money as he can on top of what Phoenix is going to have to pay him if indeed this buyout goes through. I would think he'd be looking for fit, and there's a lot of teams at the price that you're going to get Bradley Beal. You know, we just talked about it with Miami and Norman Powell. Price is everything. And if you can add Bradley Beal, he's still a very good player. He's just not good enough for the money he was making in Phoenix and Washington. So at the price you're going to get him at, there's going to be a lot of suitors, and Bradley Beal's going to have no shortage of options.
Brad, you've got me like on the edge of my seat, because I was hoping you were going to say a team. I was hoping you were going to say the Magic would be the perfect fit for him. I'll just ask you, who is the perfect fit for Brad Beal?
The Magic are a great fit. Now, they just got Desmond Bane, and they sort of fill the same role. The Magic, I think, are looking for a more classic playmaker. But again, if you're going to get Brad Beal, it's somewhere between a minimum and a mid-level. Yeah, I mean, the Magic still need offense. Bane doesn't solve everything. You know, San Antonio, they've got Fox and Wembanyama. To me, they make a ton of sense if I'm Bradley Beal. They've got Dylan Harper coming in, but really no established third guy. Vassell, Beal would be right there with him. So you're ready to win right now. You have a carved-out role. I could be looking at a team like Dallas. Listen, the one I think to watch is probably the Bucks. Now, wouldn't this be funny if they're the team that stretches Damian Lillard, okay, and then they get the benefit? They're the team that is behind the 8 ball now for the next 5 years, paying Damian Lillard $22.5 million for nothing, and they have all that dead cap money. But then they sort of like counteract that by getting Beal at the cut rate, and maybe they tell themselves, well, it's kind of a wash. We had to waive and stretch one guy, but then we get the waive and stretch guy from another team, and we get him at a bare minimum of cost. All of a sudden, if you're running out in the Eastern Conference, Bradley Beal, Miles Turner, and Giannis, they brought back all of their support guys. They brought back Gary Trent, Taurean Prince. Yeah, they can convince themselves that they can play. So I didn't like the Miles Turner move. I thought it was beyond desperate, bordering on delusional. But now that they've jumped all the way into the ocean, you know, why not keep going? You've given up all your assets in the Holiday trade, the Lillard trade. You have no first-round picks, I believe, through 2031. You got $22.5 million of dead cap money on your books for the next 5 years for a player who's not even going to be there. And now you're paying Miles Turner, if you talk about the Lillard money plus what Turner is making, which is how you have to look at it, you're looking at $50 million a year for the next 4 years for Miles Turner. It's not going to do anything for you. You just dug your hole so deep you can't come out of it. But if you can add a Beal, now it's like, you know, almost becomes like a Dallas situation. Like, what? You got rid of Luka Doncic? Oh, my God, you just got Cooper Flagg. I mean, it was so ridiculous what they did with Damian Lillard, but if they score Bradley Beal on the back end, it, to some degree, salvages it. And so I'm really watching Milwaukee. But Bradley Beal, is still a good player. He was being seen through the lens of a guy who was making too much money, but in the right situation, he can be a steal for a number of teams.
Yeah, we would appreciate you in Orlando, Brad. Come close back to Gainesville. Come on back home. That is my pitch for him. It will be interesting to see how it all breaks down. Brad Botkin, appreciate the time as always. We're talking NBA, and you know where else we can talk NBA? Over on Triple Threat with Ashley Nicole Moss. You know, that is her NBA show. Airs on YouTube as well as CBS Sports Network. There's a lot to talk about right now. Free agency, what happens with Brad Beal, and what's up with this trade between the Heat, Clippers, and Jazz. So much talk in the association, even when it's not the regular season.